Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the greatest YouTube battle show on your screens, otherwise known as Team Talk. Thank you guys so much for joining us. What an occasion we have right here on the battle floor today. We've got some big people, and first up is none other than Doogie Critchley. How are we doing, Doogs?
Let's go!
Amazing, love it, mate. Joe Tomlinson with glasses on indoors. How are you doing?
I'm excited to be here. Very excited to be here.
Okay, glad to hear it. Now, somebody that actually needs their glasses indoors, Sam Abaski, Michael McCubbin, actually both of you. How are you doing, Sam?
I'm good. I actually might need a new prescription, so
Really?
I need to shout out Specsavers.
If you're willing to sponsor us, come to us. Michael McCubbin, how you doing?
Yeah, I actually got new glasses relatively recently. Quite a bad experience with Vision Express.
Really?
That's a call out.
They had my glasses. They had my sunglasses with them for over a month, and they didn't let me know.
That's poor.
They didn't let me know, and they're really nice sunglasses.
That's
shocking.
Yeah. But they are great, though. I can recommend, if you do get, especially prescription sunglasses, the brown tint has changed my life. It's like being in another world.
How you doing being next to Sam?
I'm doing well. I know Sam's very tired today, so can we all be can we all be
Don't do
very
that. A lot
nice
of
about
us are tired,
Chelsea?
though.
Can everyone be nice about Chelsea?
Obviously.
today?
That's what I want to
No
hear.
promises.
That's what I want to hear.
Nice.
I'm
They
glad.
I love
Appreciate
Chelsea.
Dukes.
No
I
promises.
love Chelsea. I just want to put it on record. I love Chelsea.
Well, we might be talking about Chelsea in this episode, so let's get to it. Okay then, lads, let's get straight into this then. We're going to need you to rank 3 teams now. Only 3. Put 1 to 3, 1 being the very best and 3 being the very worst option. Over the last 15 years, who would you have rather played for?
Oh.
Now, take your bias out of this, lads.
No.
Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool. Now, just a bit of info as well to help you maybe make your decision. 10 trophies in this time won by Chelsea, 9 won by Arsenal, and 8 won by Liverpool. Okay, 3, 2, 1, reveal.
I just knew. You know, and the thing is, it's
I'm being
fine.
nice to
No.
Chelsea.
You know what? It's fine. But what I've realised in the last few weeks, especially with the transfer window and everything that's happened, Chelsea is easily the most hated club in the Premier League. Easily. How can
Arsenal are below them in our
how can-
rankings.
No, but how can you tell? Oh, so wait, you put Chelsea second.
Yeah,
we all-
everyone put
Chelsea
Chelsea
second.
second. Yes.
Wait. So why Liverpool above Chelsea then?
Liverpool above Chelsea because first and foremost, I would, of all of the teams, most like to play under Jurgen Klopp for the longest period of time. I think he's the best manager that's been at any of these sides during that time period. I think they have, despite the fact, might not have as many trophies as Zach just shouted out there, produced the best football I've seen visually of any of these teams quite comfortably in that Jurgen Klopp era. And I know they finished second numerous times to Manchester City, but Manchester City, the greatest team probably England's ever seen. So I think it's no shame that Liverpool don't have quite as many trophies over that 15-year period as Chelsea and Arsenal. Chelsea, fine, I would have paid for him. I would have got paid to play for him. That's probably the reason I've got them above Arsenal. But yeah, for me, Liverpool, I think, first and foremost, the biggest club of these 3 by a mile. I think, for me, the best fan base of these 3 clubs. And Jurgen Klopp swings it quite comfortably.
Yeah, I wouldn't be allowed to play for Chelsea. They'd look up my Twitter. I'd be straight out. I think Arsenal's the obvious one to be bottom because for so long under Arsene Wenger, they were really meandering towards the end of his reign. They had that rubbish time under Unai Emery as well.
Yeah.
Right now, I'd rather be at Arsenal, to be honest. But Liverpool, I think, the clear, winner in this one. They've been in 3 Champions League finals in the last 5 years. Chelsea have won more titles over that whole period, but there's just been so much disruption at times. You feel like you don't know whether you're staying or going as a Chelsea player.
Yeah, I think with Chelsea, it's like, yeah, sure, they won the titles, but it's like also, you have to play in a couple of teams that have finished like in the bottom half, like really bad blood. Yeah, managers coming and going. Yeah, chaos behind the scenes.
Fans calling you rats on duvets.
Yeah, exactly. all that stuff. Just not really into that. Whereas, yeah, I think with Liverpool, it's the Klopp factor for sure. It's the Klopp factor. Like, do I want to play under one of like probably the top 10 managers of all time in his prime? Yes. Chelsea, I don't know if there's been, I know Mourinho in his second stint at Chelsea was good for a bit, but he was past his prime as a manager. That all ended in tears. I think Liverpool has been by far the happiest camp over the last 15 years. And yeah, I agree. Played the best football. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it started. I think at Liverpool when Klopp came in, it started a little bit not toxic, but they were losing bare finals. Everyone was
making them though.
but they were losing.
they were like fairy tales.
They were losing the bare finals until they got Alisson and Van Dijk. I feel like with Chelsea, yes, you can talk about it being a roller coaster, but it's been fun. You know what I mean? And is
it fun for the players though? Like, is it that fun? For the players?
I think so. For example,
you were not having a good time.
Eden Hazard, he was probably one of the best players
to watch football
during that period. I wasn't actually. I was there.
You're on
most
sabbatical.
Of the games. I was there. I just want to talk to you guys. Don't ever try and make me that Jay. That is Jay.
That was Jay Millie.
That is Jay Millie. But I feel like living in London, would be great. Playing at Stamford Bridge would also be great. I think that these are factors.
Stamford Bridge is a better stadium than Anfield to play at?
No. I think Anfield's obviously historically is incredible, and that's one of the reasons why I put them above Arsenal. But I think Chelsea, when you talk about living in London, playing for one of the best clubs in Europe, winning European trophies as well, challenging for the Premier League on multiple occasions. Yes, having those dips, but those dips were for shorter periods than Liverpool, especially in the first few periods of Klopp's time. I think where did he start off finishing? I think went from 7th to 6th, 5th, and then it started progressively getting better, which is fair enough. But I think Chelsea was more enjoyable. He was losing. He was losing them.
With quite a mediocre squad though. Like in his first couple of years, quite a mediocre squad. And also let's remember pre-Klopp there was that 13-14 season with Suarez, Sturridge, and Sterling, where a very unfancied Liverpool team scored like over 100 goals in the league under Rodgers. Like,
yeah, but
that would have been
Chelsea were amazing to watch.
Incredible.
They were, but it wasn't quite. It just wasn't as big a story. I don't think.
Yeah.
Like that Liverpool team.
Is that their fault?
Sorry,
is that their fault?
Whose fault?
That is not big enough story.
Yeah. There wasn't as remarkable a thing. Like being part of that Ancelotti side, I don't think would have felt as amazing as being part of that Brendan Rodgers side, because it was just
something you didn't expect.
It was just a hangover from the Mourinho days, really.
Is that not on the media?
Sorry?
Is that not on the media?
I don't know whether it is or no. I
Does it
don't
matter?
think so. I don't think so.
Matter?
Like,
No, but I
it's
think
a
it
big
does
story.
because that plays a part in it.
But if you were during 2010-11, that Ancelotti season, that Chelsea team did not have the entire in all of London like in a frenzy. Like I lived in Liverpool during that 2013-14 season.
But the other club's Everton.
The
other club's Everton.
Yeah, but the city is crazy. Like it like.
And who would you rather have played?
Yeah, like when Liverpool lost the league, the entire city was singing Liverpool songs all night long. Like it was, like it's a different kind of thing. Like Steven Gerrard, for example, like could basically not go into Liverpool city centre for his entire career because he got mobbed. Like that, the level of like fanaticism in that city. It's like comparing. It's not Napoli levels, but it's probably as close to Napoli levels as you could get in terms of that season and a fancied Liverpool team going toe to toe with Man City, like playing really good football. So like you have to factor that season into it as well, because I think that would have been an amazing time to play for them.
Okay, well obviously London is the capital, lots of different people, lots of different places, and lots of different clubs obviously here as well. So I guess obviously with Liverpool there's just two, or the two big ones, and in London there's a lot more. Okay then, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously in that time Chelsea have won several Premier Leagues. They've won 2 Champions Leagues, lots of other trophies, whereas Liverpool won trophy in the Champions League, 1 Premier League. Do trophies not mean that much to you then?
Oh.
I think I explained.
I think it's also to put to everyone, by the way.
I think how many is it? Just one more trophy?
This is obviously the 2012 Champions League, the 2021 Champions League, and I guess obviously several Europa Leagues as well.
Yeah, but I think it's not just like football isn't just about when. If Liverpool won no trophies, I would be coming to an agreement with you. But football isn't just about winning trophies. The atmosphere across that 15-year period at Liverpool has been far better than Chelsea, who have gone through numerous managers, numerous dips, numerous periods of toxicity.
I disagree.
Liverpool have now had an extremely extended spell of consistency with, like Mikey said, one of the 10 best managers probably that's ever coached.
He's the longest serving manager in the league.
And frankly,
but you're talking like Klopp is the only manager that's been there during that period, bro. It was very toxic before Klopp got there. Yes, they've had periods where they've had games and everyone's been excited and the 13-14 season, but when other managers have been in charge, it's been toxic with Liverpool fans in the stadium booing when
I agree, but they've had the longest period.
You can also work under the managerial great that is Roy Hodgson as well.
Is this his 7th year?
Kenny Dalglish, club legend. Roy Hodgson.
Yeah, but
amazing.
Is his 7th or his 8th year?
He's been this is his 8th season now.
8th season of 15. So
2015, sorry.
Over half of the time period we're talking about here, we're talking about playing under a singular, consistent
the first
manager.
half, there was maybe one season where it was very positive, but the reason why it was so positive because the years surrounding it wasn't.
But let's not start reimagining.
Do you not think you'd have
Klopp
okay?
early
But
days.
you've also got to factor in like job security. Do you not think you'd feel so much more comfortable as a Liverpool player,
No, but I
given their
think-
reputation
but I
compared
think
to Chelsea for being less
as a professional,
cutthroat?
I would want to be pushed. You know what I mean? I would want to constantly
I get that.
win.
I'm an average footballer. I'd like the security.
So you take the 8-year contract.
Yeah, but you do get pushed to Liverpool under Klopp. Like those players have been pushed to a massive
But
degree.
every time you talk about Liverpool, you're talking about one manager. That wasn't the only manager during that 15-year period. So I can understand the security
I
for
think
those.
Brendan Rodgers was pretty demanding as well. For sure, like 2010 to 2012, pretty dark days for Liverpool. Like just before FSG came in, Kenny Dalglish's reign wasn't amazing. Although I think he did win them a League Cup and got to an
Andy
FA
Carroll
Cup
and them,
final as
man.
well.
Sorry.
Andy Carroll and them, man. Like, bro,
Well, yeah, I know, but
those
this is a
times
tiny. This is a tiny little period. Like we could talk about all of the Chelsea number 9s if you want.
Yeah.
We'll be here all day.
Okay.
We'll be here all day.
Very good.
Guys, just quickly, if you guys were younger, do you think that would change your
No.
opinion?
I think it would.
No, because I would have spent an even longer period of my lifetime proportionally watching Liverpool, who have been better over that period than
I would
Chelsea.
put Arsenal above Liverpool if I was changing. If I was younger.
If I was 10, yeah.
Yeah, what are you talking about? They're 8 years old. Arsenal been here for 3 years. Yeah.
No, but he said if you're younger and you're going into one of these teams, talking about the success that you've seen in the last few years, which team would you play for? I'd play for Arsenal.
But the success over the last few years has been all Liverpool.
No, but Arsenal have always historically been that team that.
But I thought we were talking about recent success because of the youth.
No, but But they've always been that team that bring you forward. Always.
What do you mean?
Wait, what are you talking about? Are we saying different things?
I think you guys are saying two different things, but
Fair
don't worry. I'm
Who's
going to
getting the
give
points?
a point here to Joe.
Come on.
I'm also going to give a point to Doogie as well
Lovely.
for the job security line.
That's just dropping
yeah,
gangs
nice
and
debate, lads. I really did enjoy that.
Okay.
On to the main part of the video then. The Premier League is well underway now. We're right into the thick of it. So I want you guys to put down 1 to 7 here.
Oh, sugar.
Woo! From the traditional top 6, Chelsea, Arsenal, all of that kind of stuff, plus Newcastle now added to make the top 7, who has the best defence in the Premier League?
Oh, my God.
All right, then. 3, 2, 1. Reveal your boards. Okay. Now, obviously, take a second to read everybody's answers. There's quite a few there. We can obviously already see Manchester City at the top for everybody. Spurs, too, at the bottom by the looks of it. All right, then, lads. Come on. Let's explain what we've got.
I'm just going to pick out something that I think is quite noticeable. Because you've got Liverpool quite low for me.
Surprised at that, yeah.
I am quite surprised
Only
about that.
one-
I
only
think
one
I
place
know
lower than you,
last year I think they're no, I've got them second.
Oh, you got them second.
I've got
Oh,
Liverpool
wow.
second.
Oh, right. Okay,
I think
so-
last year slightly overshadowed how good Liverpool's defence has been prior to
Yeah.
last year, where the midfield protection probably wasn't there. And I do think player for player, Liverpool's defence and goalkeeper is really pretty exceptional. I think it's only topped by Man City for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of. I think it's very. I think
It's very close.
I think Arsenal, United, Liverpool are all very. Even Newcastle, to be honest, like they're all pretty interchangeable. I think Chelsea and Spurs have by far the least settled defences, which is why they're the bottom 2.
Yeah, agree with that.
I just think Liverpool just conceded too much last year. This is, that top 4 there is kind of just going on the defensive records last year. Newcastle were superb. I think they have the joint best defence in the
with
league
City,
with
yeah.
City, and it has it's still very settled. They're adding to it. Eddie Howe, his defensive coaching is very notable these days. Arsenal improved massively, but did drop off towards the end of last season, which is why I've not put them second. And that Urian Timber injury has also, messed their kind of reinforcement, or their transfer business up for this season. And yeah, United, not great defensively the other night against Wolves, but
Is that why you put them lower
yeah.
than Chelsea?
just on the basis of one game?
And not just one game, but I think with this it's a bit difficult because you can just go for last season and then Chelsea should literally be last because we finished 12th.
Your
but at the
defence
same
wasn't
time,
too
Yeah,
bad.
your
your
defence,
defence was still better
you
than
conceded.
Spurs,
I think you
though.
conceded 38 goals last
defense
season.
defense wasn't like one of the biggest problems. But in terms of personnel, I think like if I look at the backline that Chelsea have currently and and I hate this because it's just gonna make me look like I'm just talking about Chelsea there, but I think if you look player for player, I think we're up there with the best in the league.
I think the keeper lets you down.
I feel like Sanchez.
I think
is
of all of the
underrated,
goalkeepers on here, we haven't really seen enough of Vicario, but we've all got him bottom, haven't we? I think it's significant drop off to
I think
Chelsea's
Sanchez is
goalkeeper.
underrated, and I say that because the only time we saw him drop off was when Potter left and his first team goalkeeper coach left, and then there was a drop off. He had one noticeably bad game, I think, against Crystal Palace, and then he got dropped, and then he weren't able to get back into the team because the keeper that replaced him was very good with his feet and was, I'd say, the same level in terms of
Jason.
in terms of with his hands. So I was thinking, him coming to Chelsea isn't that bad, but I think because of that drop off and him not being able to stake a claim for Brighton, now suddenly he's just not a good keeper. But before, he was being quoted around £80 million, one of the best keepers
Was he?
in the
When
league.
was
Yes,
that?
he was.
80.
Chelsea
What?
were linked. Chelsea were linked with him when we were trying to get another keeper. We was
Hold my hands up. I still remember that.
we looked into him, and it was a lot of money. And I think he's going to be incredible, especially because he's reunited with his ex now goalkeeper and coach, and he's playing for a better team. So I think it's
Trying to think.
fair.
I think we need to,
what else, Crystal?
I think I'm the only one with Arsenal second, am I?
Now I got Arsenal second as well.
Okay, yeah, I think we maybe need to put a little bit of respect on Arsenal's backline. To be honest with you, I think they've for sure got
Where did you
the
put
best
Arsenal?
young centre back in the league in William Saliba at the moment. I think Gvardiol could be that as well, but we just haven't seen him in the Premier League enough to comment really at this stage. I think Gabriel massively underrated last season by a lot of football fans who seem to think he's, a bit under caliber. I know we rate him quite highly at Football Daily, don't we?
I think he's because he's the one that's prone to make mistakes, and because they're so flawless at times, it looks like he makes their level drop off a little bit. But he is good.
I think Ben White behind Kieran Trippier was the best right back in the league last season, and I think Zinchenko maybe was the best left back in the league last season. There wasn't an awful lot of competition there last season, given Andy Robertson's.
The only
drop-off.
reason
So
I
is
put
Nathan
them
Ake,
behind
you know.
Liverpool is the Alisson factor.
I think Liverpool have to be
yeah.
ahead of United.
I think
I've got Liverpool.
I think
I think
Liverpool
I've
has
got
to be
them
above United.
I think I've got them quite low. Yeah.
I think if you look at Liverpool's look at Liverpool's back five player for player, Alisson
agree.
easily probably the best keeper on here, and then you look at the full.
So why have you got him below Newcastle?
I think the factor
you've
of
got
Newcastle.
You just said they're the player for player the best on it, but you got him below Newcastle.
Yeah, no, but I took into account Newcastle's defense last season and how they looked this season.
But then you
as
said
well.
that you've got Chelsea above United because it's not
Yes,
just
Also,
but
Nick
there's
Pope
multiple
almost as good
factors
as
here.
Alisson
There's
last
multiple
year in terms
factors
of the
here,
shot stopping.
and I genuinely think what they've done. Obviously, Liverpool are a bit different because it wasn't just their defense that was letting them down. It was their midfield, their injuries and stuff like that. Newcastle obviously looks better, and I could potentially switch that, but I think Liverpool have to be ahead of Manchester United just because the stability that they have with their backline is. I'm not saying that they're reliant on like a number 6, but it is very pivotal to their system working, and they do sometimes look exposed. But Alisson has saved them multiple times, and with that good number 6, they seem to
I
be
think
calm.
if you were like creating a dream Premier League 11 right now and forget like who's playing in front of them, you'd probably have Alisson in goal. You'd probably have Robertson at his best at left back.
Oof.
You'd probably have Trent at his best at right back. And you'd probably have Van Dijk
At his best.
the year before last. I think Robertson was
He
good
also
up
still
until
got
last year.
At
Still
his
eight-
best,
he
Reece
got
James
8
got to go
assists
right.
last
So
year.
I
Or
mean,
Trippier.
yeah, you can definitely make an argument with Trent for sure, but I think you definitely have Van Dijk, Robertson at his best, and Alisson. So that's 3 out of the 5.
Okay,
so I
who
think
would the
Liverpool
other
have
two
to be
be?
second.
Who would the other two
Well,
be
you
out
could
of all
put
these
in
players?
Saliba. You could put in
I think it'd be harsh not to
Varane.
have
maybe
Diaz
not
and
Varane.
Stones as the best centre back duo in the league. But like, I know that Van Dijk classically has been one of the best defenders we've ever seen. But I think
But that's why City are top.
I know. But you just said you would have.
But
Van Dijk
I think
as a
that's
starter in
I
the
think
best
that's why I'd
centre-back
have the argument that Liverpool should be higher on everyone's list. I mean, you've still got them third. It's not a disaster.
I'll stick him fourth.
Okay, so you're going to swap with United, yeah, Mikey?
I'll swap them with United. Yeah, I'll stick him fourth. Yeah.
I would like to
There we go.
give a point to Doogie for that one. I really enjoyed that. And then I'd like to also
Recency bias that.
give a shout out, I think, to Sam's Gabrielle one. I liked it, but not quite worthy of a point.
No, but sometimes you gave him a point for saying 1 point.
No, I said
No,
that
in
was
the
my
other one.
second.
In the other one. In the other one, you got a point for saying one
yeah,
thing.
Doogie's getting it for me, lads.
In the words of
So
Henry Hill,
midfields now, is it?
Primal.
Okay then, lads. Same format. Midfield. Which team has the best midfield?
This is really tight.
Wait, is this
At full fitness.
with
New signings, yeah, sure.
Lavia
Yeah,
or without?
with
You
Lavia.
can count rumours, yeah, but they have to be solid rumours.
Okay.
And this is full fitness.
Yeah, full fitness. I mean, within reason. Right now, we know that Kevin De Bruyne is out for 4 months, so obviously bear that in mind.
So you're saying KDB's just not in there? So we're talking about right now.
For the season.
So we're not including KDB in this
You
list.
can, but you've got to have the context that he's out for 4 months.
Okay, that's fine.
I think I've just gone rogue, to be fair.
Okay, then 3, 2, 1, reveal. All right, Manchester City first for everyone. Arsenal
dude.
second. Chelsea third. They are 5th for Joe, 6th for Mikey. Okay, then let's start with that. Mikey, Joe, why are Chelsea so low?
I mean, great midfield, but we haven't seen them play together. We don't know how they're going to play together. We don't know how they're going to
Imagine
complement
player
each other.
profiles though, because it's hard to do that. We might as well just put them as unknown or put question mark next to
I think that's why I've got them so low. They are an unknown quantity. I think Caicedo is a fabulous player and he looks great. But we haven't seen him play for Chelsea. Not seen him ever play alongside Fernandes. And the only reason I've got them above Liverpool is, Liverpool at the moment don't really have a midfield. Like McAllister is a midfielder, but Szoboszlai is kind of being converted into being a little bit of a deeper player than he was in Germany. Certainly we saw him play at times more of a wide man at Germany that could come inside, and as a number 10 he wasn't really classically an 8 in the way that Liverpool are kind of using him. McAllister is, from the first couple of weeks, having to be used as like a deep line playmaker, which at times he did last season, but it's not his best role. So I've had to put them a little bit lower. Chelsea might well jump up, but we just haven't seen them play.
Are you convinced by United's midfield, my brother? Are you convinced?
I think United's midfield. Well, we're supposedly allowing players that haven't joined yet, so I think Man United will.
Casemiro, Mount,
and I think I've added Amrabat in there.
He's linked with Atletico, bro.
That's okay.
I
thought we were allowed to. I thought we were allowed to add transfer targets.
But solid transfers. There's not been any fee agreed. There's not been anything. There's not been none of that.
Well, I think all right. Let's say
also, you're also forgetting that if we're saying that Kevin De Bruyne is injured and he's not like even factoring in here, which I think still City still City still
City are going to sign a centre mid,
and also City do even without KDB. City have an amazing midfield.
Do fine,
yeah. But if we're saying that KDB's out of here, Bruno is the best creator. In this whole thing.
The balance of the midfield, Manchester United's midfield, and I'm not just going off of the Wolves game because it was
you
a
kind of are though.
No, I'm not, because it was a question.
It was a rare bad game.
It was a question. Was it? It was a question that a question that everyone had before. When they made the signing of Mount, how is that midfield going to work? Is Casemiro?
You've seen it for one game.
Is Casemiro as a lone stick going to work when Mount is pressing and Bruno's in that hole? We saw it for one game, but it was against a team that was probably the worst team.
We've never seen your midfield.
Yeah, and that's fine. But we're looking at, even if we're comparing performances for the midfield that we had against Liverpool and your midfield against Wolves, we looked much better.
So you're taking one game again.
But we're seeing your midfield.
And one second, you have to add context. We were watching Chelsea's midfield against the worst midfield in the top 7.
No, that's for me. That's for me though. That's for me.
You guys put Wolves in the
you.
relegation
For you,
zone. Obviously, there needs to be a little bit
but
of
I'm
a little bit
takes
of
away from
imagination
that.
here. Otherwise, there's no
I
point.
think that's fine. And even like imaginationally, then I'm adding another midfielder to Manchester United, because I think United are going to sign another midfielder before the window closes. Fred has gone out of the door, and if you add another
is he going to start in their dream 11 anyway? I don't think Amrabat necessarily changes it.
But are we talking about starting 11s here? Because I've got Liverpool higher than Chelsea, for example, because yes, they're missing a 6 at the moment, but they will sign.
They'll sign one.
And also, Liverpool's
Liverpool's
midfield depth is like really underrated. Like they've got Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones, Thiago, who when fit will play 6 for them as well.
But when is that? When is Thiago fit? Harvey Elliott is not trusted to play in that midfield 3.
He is a good player.
I think
he's a very good
player.
player.
Harvey Elliott and Curtis, both Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones are light years ahead of any depth options that Chelsea have in midfield.
Well, Lavia.
Sorry.
Well, Lavia is about to sign.
Well, Lavia is back. Yeah, but is Lavia not gonna start? I guess he.
I don't think so.
To Caicedo.
But you're talking about depth. So is that not depth that you're talking about?
What? Lavia. The imaginary player is not signed yet.
Okay. Caicedo, Gallagher,
I think. Well, I mean,
Enzo, Gallagher, Chukwuemeka, all of these players that you
Yeah.
like,
You've got-
you're
yeah,
talking
you've
about.
got-
They haven't
Yeah.
played as much top level football as someone like Curtis
But
Jones or
Liverpool-
someone like Harvey Elliott.
No, but they're clearly
Or
not,
even
they're-
Liverpool fans rate Basasic over Lavia.
But Klopp doesn't. They're clearly not good enough. If Klopp is starting a midfield and he's not starting any of these players, he's playing Cody
Because
Gakpo
he's
in a
injured.
midfield three. Okay, fair enough. But he's playing Cody Gakpo in a midfield three when Curtis Jones is on the bench, when Harvey Elliott is on the bench. So
Yeah, he
how
spent
good?
70 million on Soboslai. He got one of the best attacking midfielders in Europe.
But it's
To-
but you're
like,
it
That's what I
doesn't
mean.
it doesn't balance out, and that's what I'm talking about. The midfields that you've put above these teams, like
So you don't think Newcastle got a better balanced midfield?
I feel
than
like
you?
where did you put Spurs? You put Spurs last year.
Well, last year.
I can't lie. If you're talking about a midfield of Basuma at the 6, Bentancur and Maddison in a midfield, that is more balanced than Manchester United and Liverpool. So I don't understand how you can.
Bentancur's actually coming.
But it
back
wasn't.
very soon, yeah.
That is on the predication of one game. United's midfield
It's not
last year
just
was
about
pretty
one
balanced.
game. It's about looking at these profiles and how they work.
Well,
But
you
it was
guys
pretty
have
balanced
spent
last
60
year.
million on Mason Mount, who looks like he will be starting, which does change the balance.
Yeah, but I thought you said we could include a player that we were going to say was going to play. I think
You
United,
don't know who that's going to be, though. You actually don't know who that's going to be.
Also, let's also remember
Well, let's say it's
Ericsson
gonna be
was
Amrabat,
also
though.
pretty great until
But
he came
he's
back from
he's
injury last
clearly
year.
not a starter, though. He's clearly
Yeah,
not going to be a starter.
but we're not talking about the starting midfields. We're
Okay,
talking
so-
about we're talking
so-
about the general like the midfield of a team, like in terms of
the
depth. as
midfield
well.
options at United
Midfield options,
are
yeah.
good, but there's just not
That's why
quite.
Chelsea
The,
are so
they
that
quite haven't
far
quite.
down.
the
There's
no
no
balance.
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 depth.
There's no balance. You talk about the midfielders that you've lost in Fred. You wanted to sell McTominay. You're starting Casemiro. You're starting Mount and Bruno. That is the midfield that he clearly wants to start and he wants to make work. And you even said that it's going to take time, and it might take time. But even when you just look at that midfield, it does look unbalanced because Mount is going to be pressing. Bruno sometimes goes out wide. Casemiro is going to be left on his own by himself, and he can't do that by himself.
But midfield-
Liverpool, if you look at their midfield, they are clearly missing a piece that will bring that team together, and it's clear. So I don't understand how you can look at the options that they have off the bench and think that suddenly they're better than a team like Spurs, who yes they've lost their top goal scorer, but in terms of their midfield, they seem calm. They've got Basuma, like I said, but Bentancur, Ndombele is still there. Yeah, he might be going, but he's still there. Skip. They've got Maddison now.
I think
That's-
Spurs
that
is
is a
okay,
strong. That's
but we
stronger than
haven't.
Manchester United and
I
Liverpool,
think
bro.
the argument here is
Skip is
that
their one depth
you're
option.
like basing your entire argument on hypotheticals.
It's not hyper.
But I will say this
You
is
are.
just hypothetical.
But you can also, like, I'm not basing any of my top three on hypotheticals. I'm basing Newcastle, Arsenal, and City all have proved that they're the best midfield.
But I
in
don't think you
of
can,
any
I
of
don't
these.
think you can do
Well,
this on some hypotheticals.
They've all
and
got
some
new
not.
midfielders in this summer.
Where do we draw the line?
Kovacic, Rice, Tonali. Like there are hypotheticals in there. We've
Yeah,
seen
but
one
the
game.
players have not left. Like last season, City's midfield was the best midfield. Like
Yeah,
Gundogan's left.
but they've now just
And
lost
they've-
Gundogan. They've lost De Bruyne to injury. They brought in Kovacic. Like you can't say
You've
it's
got
not
City top.
changed. I agree, but
Yeah.
I'm not making the point that you're making.
But even with the players that leave, Gundogan, City still have the best players that were
I
there last
agree.
season.
I agree. I'm not arguing
Arsenal-
against City. I'm just
Arsenal
saying
still
that your
have the
point
players
that,
that were there last
that
year.
you're not using hypotheticals.
I'm not using hypotheticals about Arsenal. Arsenal were the second best midfield in the league last
But
year.
it's
None of them
changed.
have left.
But they've
Lost Xhaka.
They've lost Xhaka and put in Rice or Havertz. Like, it has changed. There's still hypotheticals
Yeah, maybe
involved with all of them.
Xhaka changed, to be fair, but equally, the best midfielders at the club are still there.
Yeah.
Rodri is the best
I'm just going
defensive
to change the subject.
Rodri is the
I
best
think
defensive midfielder
I
in the
think
league. He's
Arsenal
there.
and Man City is actually really close after Kevin De Bruyne's injury. That's just a side note. I think Partey,
Yeah, I would agree.
Rice, Odegaard is an
I
exceptional.
will say
midfield.
1 and 2 you guys both have agreed, so I don't think we have to spend too much time on that.
I think Spurs just is being a little bit underrated because of how they've performed.
I think it's just
so far.
hypotheticals that you've seen them play together
But,
once.
Okay, but you like I said, you look at the profiles that they have in their team, and even if we take them at their best, yeah, I think that is a very balanced midfield compared to the other midfields that are clearly missing something that they're going into the transfer market looking
Okay, I'm going to have to draw the line there, guys.
I mean, Ollie Skip's going to start for the first 6 months of the season in central midfield.
Okay, guys. I mean, Bentancur's not that far back from injury.
Yeah, November. His start is going to come back in December, isn't it?
Okay, I mean, don't worry about the numbers. We've still got to do that. It was tough, that one. I think everybody gave some really good analysis. But the one that stood out for me, I'm going to have to give it to Sam. I liked his analysis about United's midfield.
I thought you argued generally well in that.
Thank you very much, brother.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
All right, so who has the best forwards in the Premier League? 1 to 7, guys.
And the last one, I totally forgot Xhaka had left the club. I was like, they haven't lost anyone. I totally forgot Xhaka had even left.
All right, lads. Well done. Pens down. 3, 2, 1. Reveal. Okay, so Joe has got.
Yeah,
Might
I
need
think
to
I'd
explain that
probably. I was undecided about putting Chelsea bottom.
City third.
Yeah, I've gone City third.
Whoa.
Okay, so are Chelsea 5th or are they
Whoa.
bottom? And I need you to make a decision.
I'll leave them where they are. I'll ignore
So
that.
they're
best
5th above
striker
United.
Yeah,
and
I've got-
This generation.
I've gone City third. Yeah, I think
Why?
I think they've no doubt got the best striker, but I was taking this into context of more than just the striker. I was thinking forward line, forward depth, and I actually think Liverpool have the best firepower in the league. I think the wide talent is the best. I think Arsenal got the best young talent, but I still think Salah's the best winger
I
in the
agree.
Premier League.
Yeah.
And I think Diaz on his day is blockbuster. I think Jota's incredible depth, Nunes incredible depth, Gakpo in there as well. I think he's pretty much insane. You can even add Szoboszlai to the forward line if we were forcing it. So for me, the best depth, Liverpool. I think that's probably the reason I've got them at number 1. I put Arsenal number 2 just because I love the forward line. Like I love
over Man
Martinelli,
City's.
Saka, Jesus with Ødegaard in behind.
Good depth.
City
as well.
have the best number 9. There's no doubt City have got the
They
best
do have
number
Jack
9.
Grealish.
Grealish, fantastic, but they're lacking on the right.
Foden. Play Foden on the right.
Yeah, but he's not a natural right winger, I would say. He
good there.
he can play out there. But I would take Saka over him.
Yeah.
Sure.
I would probably take Martinelli over Grealish. And then I would have Haaland, no doubt. I think he would get into every team in the world, obviously the best striker in the world. So I would probably have both of Arsenal's wingers, and I would probably have both of Liverpool's wingers. I would probably start Diaz.
I'd have
maybe on the
Grealish
fence,
over Diaz
Grealish,
personally.
I think if it was like a thing where you're putting the quality of the players into a cup, like if you put Haaland into a cup,
Yeah, he obviously,
feels like.
But it's so
three-quarters,
fucking boring
and
to
then
say.
It overflows.
Arsenal is like half and half, but with the rest of.
Do you know if you put Chelsea's in, there's just like a drop at the bottom.
But he's just so he's so boring. If we would just
Chelsea's
say City top because of
unproven, though,
Haaland,
to
it's just
the
so dull,
masses.
isn't it? Like
I actually thought
It's
Nicholas
also
Jackson
true,
looked
though.
really good in the first game, but there's
also
just
true.
so much unproven. Chelsea have to be bottom, I think.
I hear it.
I think the problem is, and I've put Arsenal second to be fair, but I think the problem we're looking at this, it's like, yeah, I was including Ødegaard in that forward line, but then I was also including him in the midfield. So
yeah, I was including Ødegaard as
so
well. I've
it's-
just
it's-
thought
it's
about
hard
that.
to- it's hard-
Ødegaard is midfield in this.
I put him midfield.
Okay.
Midfield.
But I'm thinking, yeah,
Maybe
I was
that
thinking kind
drops
of
them below
spread of,
City, to be
yeah,
fair.
maybe they drop below Liverpool than Arsenal, but
You can make that change if you want to.
I just think Liverpool's
Thing is,
forward.
I think
midfield
if we just had a full season of Luis Diaz last year, then Liverpool would be really pushing for the top here because Luis Diaz, I think, is exceptional. Like he was a great.
Yeah, so do I.
He was an upgrade on Mane. Like he's literally an upgrade on Mane, but the problem is, yeah, he just wasn't about last season. Like I want to see like 2-3 months of Luis Diaz back from injury, and then like that Liverpool forward line, could be the best on balance in the league. But yeah, I love Saka and Martinelli. But I think let's go down here. I think Newcastle clearly clearly top 4.
Yeah,
like that's
great
that
depth.
centre
You
forward-
can't have anybody other than Newcastle. in
I think
the
they've
top
got the
four.
best. I think we were saying this on Monday Vibes. Like they've probably got the best centre forward depth in the league in some ways. Like I think their second choice centre forward would walk into all these 3 teams. Their second choice centre forward would walk into all these 3 teams. To be honest, Callum Wilson wouldn't necessarily walk into Liverpool, Arsenal, or Man City, but
No, I don't.
but he would definitely walk into United, Spurs, or Chelsea and be their number 1 starting centre forward from day one. Added Harvey Barnes in there. Anthony Gordon's looked pretty good.
Isaac.
Yeah, Isak is like amazing. I've been seeing stuff
Played
from people
Joe
saying
Linton
that Isak is. I've been seeing some Newcastle fans saying that Isak is the best centre forward in the league after Haaland, which is pretty mad. But it shows the kind of level that he's getting to. Like he is exceptional, and I think could have the biggest kind of uptick of any centre forward in the league this year. Like we could be about to see
Could
this
it
guy
20
turn into a
plus, couldn't he?
serious superstar. Sorry.
Could it 20 plus, couldn't he?
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
Carry on, man.
So yeah, I think Newcastle have to be in their 4th, and then I just think that the 3 remaining options. I think Spurs obviously depleted by Kane, but I
Yeah.
expect Richarlison to step up this year. Like I expect Son to do a lot better than he did last year. Kulusevski as well. Like there's a lot of like potential firepower there.
Could that not be said for Chelsea as well?
I think there's more question marks over Chelsea about that forward line. Like all we've seen is Raheem Sterling and Jackson basically start as a front 2 almost.
So you're only going off
Nkunku-
that one game.
Well, not quite, but Nkunku's out, so like, and I'm not counting Elise just yet, because there has been.
He's also injured.
For all we know, Man City might sweep in you'll know by the time this goes out. So it's hard to say Elise because there's interest from other clubs as well. And Chelsea's forward line last year, the performance last year was just so bad. Like basically, what sets United apart from Spurs and Chelsea is they've got Rashford. Like they've just got someone who could score 20 league goals and has been on fire.
But the
in
other
last,
options
year
do
or
worry
so.
me. I think they're really weak.
It's
I
not
think
weak.
United and
Bro.
Chelsea are very tight. To be honest. I think
they-
Anthony, Sancho haven't done it. Højlund, unproven. Garnacho, really young. Martial, permanently injured. Like United, I was tempted by United bottom.
But United.
But then I just went Chelsea got more
United are the only ones out of these three who have a guaranteed goal scorer.
I mean, if you're playing him down the middle with Højlund having his back injury, I don't know how many goals he's going to score because he didn't look comfortable there.
And Rashford has had seasons
Yeah,
where
there
he
might
has-
be. It might be less well-rounded
had
than
one in the
Chelsea
last
might
four.
have. I don't know whether. Yeah, it depends how well Højlund does. I feel like Chelsea could have quite a few contributors that get close to 10 goals, whereas United feel like they might have one.
Don't think Bruno's going to get 10 goals?
I wouldn't count him in the attack, but yes, fair.
So who is in the Chelsea attack when we're talking about this? Is the problem. There's just
Because
question marks over,
Nkunku, I thought, was playing as part of a midfield three.
yeah, Mudryk.
No,
so-
Nkunku's a part of the attack.
So in the first 8 months of Mudryk being at Chelsea, I'm unconvinced like he can finish. Like I don't know what's going on there, but like I've just never seen a player like not be able to finish so many easy chances. Like Jackson, I did think looked good, but I just I want to see him score first.
What about Madueke?
Madueke, I think is good, but like again, I've not like seen it on a consistent basis from him. I've not seen him start.
Yeah,
Like, you
he's
know what I mean?
barely played.
You
Like,
take
he's
Sterling at
barely
United,
played.
though.
Sorry,
You'd probably take Sterling.
I probably
at
would take
United.
Sterling at United, but again, coming off a down year and like
But
yet
that's
to
what I
see
mean.
yet to see him do it on a consistent basis at Chelsea. Like Madueke like doesn't even start. Like I don't know.
But
Yes,
who have we
it's-
seen do it at United on consistently except for Rashford in the attack? If you don't count Bruno,
Yeah,
that's
fi-
it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but who have we seen at Chelsea? No one. Like no one.
They
Like,
did have a bad year
That's
last
what
year.
I'm saying. I think
Literally no one.
it's quite
They
difficult.
scored 38
It's-
goals last year.
It's
I do have United above Chelsea. I just think it's quite close after Chelsea's
I
summer
just think
business.
I think it's just quite difficult to like do this when with Chelsea. There's obviously more unknown entities, but I'm gonna go through my list anyway because everyone's going through their list.
You've got Chelsea above Newcastle.
Yeah.
You know what? When you was talking, I was actually thinking the only reason why I would put Newcastle above Chelsea is because of the proven quality. But I think when the season ends, we're probably going to see, or I'm saying I'm hoping, but I do think that there's going to be more
You
fluidity.
think you'll finish
in the
above
front.
Newcastle then?
I think we will. We don't have European football. They're going to be playing a lot more competitions, a lot more games. They've started really strong, but like we've seen with multiple teams, doing that the 2 games or 3 games a week has an impact on these players. And yes, we saw that game. They looked incredible. But the likelihood of that lasting throughout the whole season without injuries, without people falling out of form. Yeah, but that's different. The expectation now is different.
So does Callum Wilson not get into that Chelsea starting lineup?
I think
Isak not get in there.
Callum
Does
Wilson,
Harvey Barnes not get in
the
there?
reason why he wasn't really able to make that step up anyway is because of his injury record. And now that he's able to be in a team that Isak is there and they're able to, have a forward that sometimes does get injured, and then Callum Wilson comes in, is perfect for him. He's got the perfect scenario for him. But I'll just quickly go through the rest. Yeah, Liverpool. I think I think Liverpool are pushing City for the best front line. Arsenal, I still think that they've got a few unproven.
Who's unproven at Arsenal now?
In terms of goal scorers, if we're talking
Martinelli scored 15 goals last
Martinelli
year.
and Saka, yes, yeah. Gabby Jesus, not convinced he's going to be that striker that we all know he can't be. Trossard, I don't know if he's going to get enough games to be able to contribute that much, especially
forgot about Trossard.
if Havertz plays through the middle.
Amazing.
I think Chelsea unknown quantity, so I'd switch them with Newcastle because I can understand their front line is great. I really do agree with what Duke is saying about United only having one player that is proven to be the goal scorer.
That's why I've got him second bottom.
And everyone else
We've all got
not
him
really
in
sure
that-
about
in that
them.
area.
And Spurs in it.
Okay, then let's give out some points. Then I'm going to give one to Joe for his Liverpool and depth answer. I thought he carried himself very well in that. I'm going to give one to Mikey as well about his Newcastle United spiel. Yeah, it was very, very good. Okay, then that means we're going to get into the points.
Ooh.
Points mean prizes.
All right, then in bottom place.
We're joint bottom, aren't we?
Mikey's right. They're both wearing glasses.
Let's have it.
And level at top. It's both Joe and Doogie. Well done, guys. Okay, let's do rock, paper, scissors, best of one to see who wins. Doogie Critchley, Team
Why
Talk
didn't you do
champion. Well done.
thing?
I was thinking
Put
that's
the
a bit
sunglasses
creepy.
back on.
Boys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you guys so much for watching at home. We really appreciate it. If you've enjoyed this episode, then make sure you like the video by smashing that like button. Let us know what you thought of the debates in the comments and what you would have said if you were on the show. If you're not already subscribed to Football Daily, then do that as well by smashing that subscribe button. Again, thank you so much. We'll see you very, very soon. See you later. Bye.